Malignant narcissists. You don't deserve them, but they don't deserve you. I woke up this morning early, just with that thought in my in my consciousness, and I just wanted to share that with you. They don't deserve you. You don't deserve their abuse. They don't deserve the life and the light and the love that you give. You don't deserve their darkness. They don't deserve your light. Excuse me. They don't deserve your spirit. You don't deserve their demons. I should have said that backwards. You don't deserve their demons. They don't deserve your spirit of truth and light. I read a parable in Matthew 22. Jesus spoke it. About the king, a king, who gave a wedding banquet for his son. And he sent his servants out throughout the city and invited the entire township to come to this wedding. And none of them came. In fact, it got so bad that the citizens of this town ended up murdering and killing the servants of this king, who were simply inviting them to a wedding feast. And if you read the story, the king ended up executing those men and women who were too busy with their own life to attend this wedding feast. And you might ask, what does this have to do with a narcissist? It has everything to do with narcissism. The conscience, the moral compass of every human being, including the narcissist, it's in all of us, was knocking at the door. Knocking at the door of the heart and the mind of this individual. Very much like the servants of the king were inviting the people to come feast with the king. But the conscience, which should be the king of our lives, our conscience should be the final authority of our behavior, of the way we relate to other people, the way we relate to ourselves and God. The conscience should be king. But anyway, the conscience of these people, we use the term narcissistic personality disorder. That's fine, I guess. Kept knocking, kept inviting the people, these narcs, many of them when they were kids, young kids, invited them though, prompted them, invaded their consciousness, asking, pleading, begging with them to have an inner life, to feast with me. Let me tell you something, the feast of life, you will find it only within yourself. In God, of course. But even the Father operates through us inwardly, through our spirits. All the while, the conscience I'm talking about the narcs now, the conscience of the narc was prompting him or her to do right, to do good. And through a long period of time, they refused the invitation of their inner conscience, their inner life. The Bible calls it, they hardened their heart. And eventually, the king, if you will, the conscience, became inoperative. The invitation no longer came. And they went off to live a life doing whatever pleased every notion of their own heart, their own flesh, their own greedy, covetous mind. If you're an abuse victim, I can assure you, I don't care if you're a Christian or not, I can assure you, you are a person who who accepted the invite of the king, being your conscience. You attended the feast of your inner life. You made a decision, albeit on probably a very primal subconscious level, but many years ago. You made a decision. You established in yourself, in your own heart, that you would follow and obey and allow this king, this conscience within you, to reign over you. And that in turn opened the door to an inward light, an inward life, a source flowing from within you of creative energy. The fact that you have a conscience and you give your conscience place in your life, in your personality, and in your identity is the very thing the narcissist detests in you. Your narc parent doesn't despise and detest you because you're bad or you're unworthy in any way. It's just the opposite. He or she detests you if you're a victim of their abuse. They detest you because you are good. They don't deserve you. They don't deserve contact with you. They have forfeited the privilege of contact with you. They have cut themselves off from an inward life, whereas you have allowed an inward life to flow through you. They don't deserve access to your inward life any more than you deserve access to their inner death. What would you think? What would you think? I was thinking about this morning too. What would you think of a young dad or a young mom? I'll say young dad for illustrative purposes. Takes his little 6-month-old child, 6-month-old daughter, beautiful girl, to the zoo. And he just adores this girl. And what's not to adore in a 6-month-old baby girl? Pure innocence. And he takes the child to the zoo one day. And thinking that this little girl is so precious, even the animals, even the predators will see how precious she is. Thinking this way, he does something really foolish. He places his little girl, I'm speaking hypothetically, okay, but he places this little girl in the cage where they house the wild African dogs, thinking these wild dogs will appreciate the innocence and the beauty of this child as much as I do. You know what'll happen. Do you think those wild dogs value that baby? No more than they value a piece of meat. No more than they value Purina dog food. And they will treat that child accordingly, to the horror of the dad and the bystanders. It's a horrible thought, I know. I apologize for using a morbid illustration like that, but I want to strike your thinking. What would you think? I had this thought too. What would you think of a farmer, an old farmer, been married to the same woman for 50 years? She means the world to him, and he means the world to her. And one day he wakes up and goes through his wife's jewelry and takes all of the precious rings and bracelets and necklaces and jewelry he's given her over the years. Symbols, tokens of his love for her and vice versa. And this old farmer takes this jewelry and goes out to the pig pen, thinking these pigs will appreciate this jewelry as much as my wife and I do. And he just tosses the jewelry into the hog trough. What do you think those pigs are going to do? Do you think the pigs are going to go, oh, that's precious? No, those pigs don't value that jewelry any more than they value processed cornmeal. That precious child that I talked about, those precious jewels I just talked about, are your soul. Your soul. Your soul is the most valuable thing about you. And a pig and a wild dog don't deserve it. They don't value your soul. Your soul is nothing but supply. Do you understand that? It's food. We don't deserve narcissistic abuse. Let me tell you something. They don't deserve the life and the love and the light that's in you. Thank you.